I'm one of the representatives here for UAB football. And as Mr. Chuck said, we're not fighting something that's just political. This by no means is just political. The Free UAB movement is a movement that represents UAB as a whole. But what my approach is, when we think about Free UAB as a whole, when we think about UAB, when we think about UAB as the state's largest employee, the first thing I think about is the economic development. When I think about the students, when I think about different communities, when I think about families that may not have enough money to be able to send their students to different schools all over the world, but just have enough finances to be able to send them right down to UAB, University of Alabama in Birmingham, which is the heart of Birmingham City. When I think about Free UAB, I think about what they did for me. As Chuck said, before I got hurt, I was ranked number 8 in the state. Had a free ride to go anywhere and play football, but I risked my life saving the little baby's life before the car went off the cliff. Threw the little baby out the window, and I went from being paralyzed from the neck down to the chest down to now, since I started at UAB, when the doctors and therapists gave up on me, my coaches and my teammates believed in me. When my coaches would always say, all right, everybody is mandatory, everybody goes to the cold tub. My teammates would look at me and say, Tim, you're coming to them. They carried me to the cold tub. And I'll never forget, as we're getting ready to end our program, as our program was ending, everybody said, Tim, come on, let's stand up. And I stood up with my teammates. And one thing that taught me was, together when we take a stand together, no more if it's a Democratic Party, Republican Party, no matter what it is, when we take a stand together, that's when we're most powerful. And what's going on is that our president, and it's not that I do not like our president, but when I understand that when you're sworn in to be the president of a major university, right then and there you have to have a heart for that school. Not just for that school, you have to have a heart for the state. Not just for the state, but you must have a heart for the people. And the only thing that makes me upset is because you've taken away 105 young men's dream. My teammates cried and told me, Tim, if it wasn't for football, if it wasn't for UAB, I don't know where I would be today. You know, I was just telling them that I come from a family where my mother was she was a single parent mom of 3. And the game of football was one of my biggest things that I wanted to do, for not just for my family, but do this for the community. And to see our president make promises and say, you know what, young man, if you want to come to UAB, we're going to have a practice station, we're going to have a football field, we're going to do all these great things. And they lied to them just to sell them an image. And they took their dreams, they took their discipline on what their parents taught them, and they listened and they came to UAB, all to be lied to by our president. Not just from the president, our board of trustees, not just by the board of trustees, our state. And how ironic was when we got some players that came from different schools. The first year when UAB is on their way up to the top, we get all these great 3-star athletes, 4-star athletes. Their first year at UAB, is ironic that they can't play because they're put in the wrong classes. Believe that or not. It's ironic that they're put in the wrong classes. Can't even play their first year. It came a time where our facility we was working out in had mold. We couldn't even work out. And the day our president, when President Watts was hired as our president for UAB, he made a promise that he would go and see every facility on campus. He went to every facility except for UAB football. One of our coaches, the head coach at the time, sat in their office and said, why is he not coming? And they said he always had something to do. This is our same president, as Chuck said, looked students in the eye and said, you don't know what you don't know. Told students that nobody loves UAB as him. Never came to a football practice, never came to a basketball game. We saw him when we went to Louisville. He was at the Louisville game. Never shook hands. Didn't even cut the net down when UAB ended everyone's bracket for Conference USA. Didn't even come and do anything. But yet, at the end of the day, that's still our president. Didn't even speak when I graduated from UAB last year. Didn't even speak at our graduation. That's our president for UAB. But how we take a stand for Free UAB is that we come together as a family. I don't know a lot of you all in this room, but I guarantee you, if I had the opportunity to sit down and have lunch or talk with you all, I will understand that it is some great people in this room. But the one way that we can change UAB and Free UAB is that just reaching out to a person. Just as they were talking about the food and they're just talking about different things, We all know somebody. But my challenge is this time moving forward, when we go out and we meet these people, when we're doing things for the state, when we're really thinking about making plans for the state, it's time that we must search our heart and understand this. When it comes time for us to sign a document or to sign something for the state, am I really doing this for the state? Am I really doing this for the love of money? Because at the end of the day, our state is at hand, our community is at hand, and the next generation, which is young people, is at hand. And that's what's going on right now. In UAB, we have lost a numerous amount of students. We have dorms being built. We have a lot of things being built. But now our question is, how will we fill this up? When the main goal is to, in order to have a full university, you must have a football team with full athletics, an on-campus stadium, and something for students to do. And as I close, I always say this: whenever I want to go somewhere and go to another university, whether it's Montgomery, whether it's Huntsville, and I call and say, hey man, I'm not from there, what can I do? Hey man, come on, just go to the script. What's the script? It's a script where the students, we can go do this and we can go do that. But if you make a phone call to UAB and say, where can the students go? The only thing that they'll say is, all we have is a rec center. And now we have a student center. See what I'm saying? So it's time now that UAB, because we are UAB and we're known for our medical school, we're known for having the brains, and we're known for being the state's largest employer. Well, if that's the case and we're known for that, it's time now to not treat UAB as the abandoned stepchild, but to treat UAB as a university. Because I really do believe that when you invest in students, when you invest in your staff, when you invest in your university, those are the life changers. Those are the people that's going to do something with your states. And they'll tell you, I'm a student at UAB, I have finals to do, I'm on the road going around the cities and states just speaking on behalf of Free UAB. But I understand this, without an education, I am nothing. So I get my work done on the way here, I get my work done on the way back. But the work for Free UAB is something that we have been fighting for since 1969, which Gene Bartow had a vision. So now the vision is, just like Obama has a vision for the state, just as the state capitol has a vision for the state of Alabama, we have a vision for Free UAB, and that's to restore UAB football, bowling, and rifle, and that starts with us. God bless you and thank you.